So after 2 weeks, how's everybody? Have you been diligently studying 弟子规 or kind of slack off for 2 weeks? Okay, well, welcome back after 2 weeks. So we're going to continue with chapter 3. But before we get into chapter 3, I would like to actually talk a little bit more about the way we think, the way we talk. It is very important because otherwise we will use chapter 3 to make demands on our children. Because chapter 3 is all about how to do things and the attitude, the respectful attitude, how to be discreet, how to maintain our hygiene, and our time management. So, but all this wouldn't work if we as parents or as elders cannot understand or communicate with them with the right approach. So I would like to further on to continue about the way we think, how the way we think can actually affect consequences, affect the outcomes. The hidden messages in water. It was an experiment done by Dr. Emoto of Japan. Dr. Emoto did these experiments and found out that actually water has feelings. Water can express thought. His postulation is that since our body, 90%, when we were born, 90% of our body is water. We live actually in an environment of water. It's a very comfortable environment for the fetus. The fetus swim inside the womb. It is warm. It is comfortable. For the little person in there. And when we are adult, 70-75% of body is water. So water is an inalienable part of our body. So without water, we won't be able to survive too well. And when we aged, and by the time if we do get to grow to a ripe old age, maybe only about 50-60% of our body is water. That's why you find older people, they shrink. And the earth, 75% of the earth's surface is covered by water. So water is a very important part in terms of the microorganism and up to the whole world. It has a lasting impact on us. So water can affect how we think and can affect our mood and attitude. So this experiment, I'm going to first look at the PowerPoint. Our connection with water is such that the average human body is 70% water. And we start out life being 99% water at fetuses. And we are born, we are 90% water. And by the time we reach adulthood, we are down to 70%. And if we die of old age, we will probably be about 50% water. So in other words, throughout our lives, we exist mostly as water. Now, so he did an experiment extracting the water, and put them in test tubes and paste words outside the test tubes. And he freezed the water and cut slices of it and examined them under a very powerful telescope. And they found these are the crystals that form with different words put on the test tube. For instance, this one. When they put love and appreciation outside the test tube, this is what the water crystals look like. This is playing Beethoven's Pastoral, the music to the water. This playing thank you, saying thank you to the water. This one is playing the Tibetan Sutra to the water. And this is just pasting Mother Teresa outside the test tube. So they are nice crystals. So he found that all the positive thoughts will create beautiful crystals within this water. Then in opposite, when he play heavy metal music to the water, that's what water looks like. Water crystal, it cannot form crystal. So can you imagine if every day we are bombarded by this music, I think our whole body's water become very meshy. Then we get very agitated. It shows here, you can get into a very agitated mood. Right? And then they also paste Adolf Hitler's name on the test tube, and this is what it looks like. And this one, they put, "You make me sick." Okay. I don't know whether you notice this or not. Doesn't this look like a man holding a gun? Holding a gun at someone, like, he's even wearing a goggle, a mask, holding a gun towards somebody. So that's what happened when you kept on saying, "You make me sick." Now, and the before and after picture, this is the lake water before channeling positive words to them. I believe this was Lake Biwa. Okay? And then lake water after that positive chanting. Okay, that means as they chant, they project positive energy into the water. So after days of chanting and the positive thinking channeled into the water crystals actually changed, from this formation to this formation. Okay. So he did another experiment with rice. Okay. And it started actually by a family. So he used the same concept and tried to test it on rice. So he put 2 glass jars, and every day for a month, they said thank you to one jar and you fu to another jar. That means one jar he would say 多謝 every day, thank you, to the jar. The other jar, right, they say 要付 蠢材 你傻㗎. Okay, keep on saying these things to that jar. Okay? And after the 1 month, okay, and then they track how the rice changed over the period. Even the children, when they got home from school, would speak these words to the jars of rice. So not only the parents, everybody in the house, including children, would say, one is 多謝, the other one is 蠢材, 多謝,蠢材, 多謝,蠢材, 要付. Okay. Then after a month, the rice that was told thank you started to ferment, but with only a mellow smell like that of malt. That means the rice wine, okay? Fermented rice alcohol. While the rice that was exposed to Yu-Fu rotted and turned black. Okay. Now we're going to see a video. This experiment is done by 4 groups of people. It's called the words spoken by water.
We do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Dr. Emoto has conducted another interesting experiment. He placed rice into 3 glass beakers and covered it with water. And then every day for a month, he said, thank you to one beaker, you're an idiot to the second, and the third one he completely ignored. After 1 month, the rice that had been thanked began to ferment, giving off a strong, pleasant aroma. After 1 month, the rice that had been thanked began to ferment, giving off a strong, pleasant aroma. The rice in the second beaker turned black. And the rice that was ignored began to rot. Dr. Emoto thinks that this experiment provides an important lesson, especially with regard to how we treat children. We should take care of them, give them attention, and converse with them. Indifference does the greatest harm.
2, 3.
Hey everyone, it's Steve. It's day 147. It's October the 2nd, 2008. It's the last day. Hey everyone, it's Steve. It's day 147. It's October the 2nd, 2008. It's the last day of the rice experiment. I've decided to throw the rice out as they look and disgusting and probably will attract some sort of vermin. Anyway, I'll show you the 3 bottles of rice, and you guys can make the decision up in your own minds. Damn good to me. As you can see, these are the 3 bottles I used. Thank you, rice. Looks pretty damn good to me. As you can see, it is white. As you can see, it looks like shit. I reckon I would almost eat that. The ignored rice is the worst. As you can see, it looks like shit. It's completely brown. It's got black spots in the middle. As you can tell, right there, it's really gross. The full rice, also pretty bad, as you can tell. But it's got white parts still down the bottom, but definitely was rotting around the top areas, as you can see. So there you have it. It's the last day, and definitely been results. It does show us as but only contrary to what we know about nature. The saint said, miracles are not contrary to nature, but only contrary to what we know about nature. And this is to show us to keep our minds open about things that we might not currently understand, we might not currently believe in. Just because we don't, doesn't mean they're not true.
In this experiment, we have
Peace.
2 containers of rice. Hey, I'm Andrew, and today I'm doing Master Emoto's rice experiment. In this experiment, we have 2 containers of rice.
I hate you, evil, stupid,
and on each container we're going to write different words. On this one I have written,
on the second container,
I hate you,
written,
evil, stupid, you fool, idiot, die.
Okay.
On the second container I have written, I love you, beautiful, peace, thank you, kindness, compassion, and gratitude.
Our emotions.
Okay, the idea behind this experiment is that since water is affected by our emotions and intentions and thoughts, since rice
our intentions and
water while it is being cooked. By the way, this is cooked rice. Our intentions and words that are written on the container will affect the rice in either a negative way or a positive way. And since the water is being affecting the rice, the negative rice will rot faster than the positive rice. So that's the outcome we hope to get in this experiment.
It's been 3 weeks since I started the experiment, the Master Emoto rice experiment, and let's look at the results. Hey, it's been 3 weeks since I started the experiment, the Master Emoto rice experiment, and let's look at the results. So here is the positive rice. It looks in pretty good shape. This is the negative rice. In pretty good shape. And this is the negative rice. Has a lot of mold, especially compared to the positive rice. And negative rice has a lot of mold, especially compared to the both taken from the positive rice. Negative rice, positive rice, both taken from the same bowl. So that's the rice experiment. Thank you guys for watching.
Okay, today is day 76
so that's the
of
rice
the rice experiment.
Thank you guys for watching.
And we'll today is day 76 of the rice experiment. The rice I speak positively to. We'll have a look at how the rice is doing. And here is the rice I speak positively to every day. Just a little bit of white. But there is no green mold whatsoever. Not too bad. Just a little bit of white. Okay. Now for that's it. It looks all right. Too negatively. Not too bad. Okay. Now for the awful rice I speak too negatively. It's gotten even darker. It's just awful. Whole lot of green mold. It's gotten even darker. There we go. I speak too negatively every day. And the ignored rice has gotten a whole lot worse. So there's a whole lot more. Speak too negatively every day. And the ignored rice has gotten a whole lot worse. Like there's a whole lot more. And orange and white. And a whole lot of mold. It's gotten like really brown. It's like brown and orange and white. So a whole lot of mold. It's gotten like really brown. So horrible color. Anyways, find it really interesting after 76 days. The rice they ignore. But the positive rice find it really interesting after 76 days. So good. That compared to these the positive rice is still looking so good compared to these two. Wow. Oh. Anyways, I'll keep you updated and probably go on with this for a bit longer. Keep you updated. Anyways, I'll keep you updated and probably go on with this for a bit longer.
Because this year was a
keep you updated.
Today it's exactly March 27th, 2008. So because this year is a leap year, it's exactly 30 days from the day that we started our experiment. I think it's an hour ahead, but really not a huge deal. We did plan on videotaping every 5 days, but then we realized that really wasn't necessary because the results would speak for themselves. Hence we have 30-day-old rice. It's white. That says thank you on it. Perfectly white. It's not even yellow. I don't think. What do you think? It's white.
Looks good.
And then we have the yucky you fool rotted jar that makes me want to vomit looking at it. Oh, I'm so not saying that. Okay, that's disgusting. And these were done on the same exact day. Oh, I'm so not saying that. Okay, that's disgusting. And these were done on the same exact day. And we just spoke to them at least once a day. It's been a great experience. These are the results of the words that we spoke to them. Thank you and you fool. And really, it's amazing. And it's been a great experience doing this because we've been able to explain. Anybody who's come into our home has wanted to know what this is and why it's doing this. We've been able to explain nice flourish on it. Masao, I can't say his name, I'm sorry. Masao Rimoto's experiment and have become really interested, and other people are doing this experiment, and I hope that our efforts with this rice experiment has brought more knowledge, and nobody will be willing to try it and think about the words that they use in daily life, as simple as thank you and you fool, which nobody can really say thank you enough. So disgusting. So we're considering possibly trying this again with other words just to see the difference, and it's really disgusting. So thank you.
Okay. You see how powerful your words are? So every scolding, every negative word you throw on somebody else have that awful effect on somebody else. But there's something that perhaps we neglected or we overlook, is that before these words go to another person, they have to go through who first? Go to ourselves. Okay. So actually, while affecting others, we are also affecting ourselves. So it's a lose-lose situation. So the next time, if you want to tell your child that you are a FOOL, or you are stupid, or you never listen to me, you are not a good boy, you are not a good girl, I hate you, I don't like you, I wish you were never born. All these words will hurt that person because they are hurting the water inside their bodies. And as you can see, what the colors look like. Green, black. It will actually slowly poisoning their bodies, okay, including their minds. Okay? And you, because you also throwing those negative words, the same thing will happen to yourself. Okay? So always communicate with your children positively. Okay? Now, additional photographs. You see how the spring water in the mountain, okay, the fountain Lord from France is crystal clear because the water is clean. The Antarctic ice, with little pollution, it's clean. Spring water of Sambuchi Usui, Japan, okay, it's beautiful crystals. And spring water from Saijo, Japan. So when your body is clean, when your mind is pure, that's what the water in your body looks like. They are clean and pure and healthy. Okay? So what this means to us is, being positive means focusing on the good things that happen in our lives, rather than on things that make us mad or upset or don't go the way we like. This happens to us every day, doesn't it? Is there any day that you can say, it's a good day, everything go according to my way? My children are obedient, my friends are obedient, my parents didn't say any bad things to me, the traffic jam doesn't happen. Okay, everything is hunky-dory. No, every day is you face with a challenge. But instead of thinking about all this, think about all the good things. Right? So what happens when there's a traffic jam? Well, put on the music that you like, or put on some good lecturers, and you can refresh yourself with all this positive, teaching. Okay? Rather than thinking about the negative things. What are the negative things that you can turn them into positive? What are the negative things that you have that every day, keep on bothering you? Can you remember something? Something that makes you unhappy. See, the problem with us is we are unhappy with things that we don't remember. That's what is sad about us. We know we are unhappy, but we don't remember. And when the things happen, then we are unhappy. Okay, so we are reacting to unhappiness. Okay? 即係有時真係得閒冇嘢做係咪？揾嘢嚟發脾氣。Because we don't remember. Just conveniently we yell, we shout and we scream, and after that, why were you so angry? I don't know. I was just angry. I just feel like yelling and shouting. Okay. Meanwhile, you don't know what that do to your body. It's actually hurting your body. On the other hand, thinking positive has a major impact on how we feel, the things we do, and what we say to others. When you feel positive, you say nice things. When you feel negative, you say negative things. Right? Has that person changed, by the way? That person may not have changed at all, but your mood changed, and therefore you say things somewhat differently. Right? Try this experiment. You are in a very foul mood, right? But then you change it to a happy mood. You don't feel like saying, hi, good morning, but you force yourself to say, hi, good morning. You will feel yourself uplifted. But if you follow your mood, hi, good morning. Or you don't feel like saying, hi, good morning. So what, every day I see you, why should I say good morning? I already so used to you. Like then you're being dragged into that negative mood. Change it. Your positive mood will affect how you talk, how you look at others. Not that others have changed, but you yourself has changed. And even though we all have not so good days, remaining positive help us get through. And when we focus on the negatives all the time, we may feel exhausted. Do you feel tired? Is it tired to raise children? Is it tired to raise children? Very tiring, isn't it? Why is it tiring? Because you are thinking about negative things all the time. But when it is positive, you will not get tired. Okay? You get tired because all the negative things happen in front of you and you don't know how to resolve it, and you feel very, very tired. It's very tiring. So the positive things will make us energized. Positive thinking will energize you. Okay? And instead of being unmotivated and what you call blah, the opposite can be achieved by focusing on the positives. And positive words, positive actions, and positive thoughts all result in positive energy. Okay? Now, 99 people, actually how we can be affected, okay? They say we have 99 happy people inside the classroom. Okay? Then suddenly come one person who is not happy. Okay? 99 happy people, one unhappy person. What are the possible things that can happen? Okay, the unhappy person will become happy. Why? Because he's influenced by the 99 happy person. So you will have what? 100 happy people. Right? Now, can there be another result? What is the other result? Yeah, one unhappy person affected 99 happy person, which happen all the time. One unhappy person will turn 99% unhappy, and you will get 100 unhappy person. So which situation would you prefer to have? The one affect the 99 or the 99 affect the one? Of course the 99 affect the one. But why do we let one negative thought to affect us? Which happen all the time. Like for instance, you come out from this class, you feel really good, right? Then you go out, you were thinking, oh, after that when I see my son, I'm going to praise him, I'm going to tell me how good he is, I'm going to confess I'm no good, I'm not a good mother, I'm a terrible mother, he's such a wonderful son. And so as soon as you see him, 做么你这样的啊？你就没听话是不是？你就是这样的咯。all those things, the positive things that you wanted to say to him suddenly, phew, then all the 99 positive things that you want to say becomes 100 negative things and all pour out to the one son. Then we ask your son, does your mother love you? If he's polite, if not so polite, no, I think your mother loves you. She doesn't love me. She scolds me all the time. She never praises me. Oh, really? How come? I think she loves you. No, she doesn't love me. Okay. So why? Because you have let that one negative trait of him, which he keep on repeating doing, cover up all the other 99 good things about him. Okay, so he becomes a bad boy. Okay, where you should do it the other way. Use all your charm, all your abilities to change the very persistent fault of your children, okay, and change them so that he becomes 100%, up to your par. Okay, eventually, slowly, gradually, right? And this, in fact, this one is you. You will have the decision making power to do that, because you may not be able to control him totally, but you can at least control yourself. You can control your thought, you can control your speech. You can at least do that. You change yourself, you change the world. Okay? So the vibration of good words has a positive effect on our world, not just to one person, to a group person, but also can to the whole world. Okay? Whereas the vibration from negative words have the power to destroy. Now it is said that if we get angry, our temperature goes up. Your body temperature goes up when you get angry, because it's fire, right? It gets angry. Now imagine if a lot of people get angry, will it affect the temperature of our earth? It will. Because everybody have 1 degree up, then the whole universe will have 1 degree go up. Okay? So in a situation where you argue with each other, okay, like fire, fireballs in each other, do you find the atmosphere hot or cold? You feel very warm, very hot, okay, because everybody's temperature goes up. And when things goes up, it burns. And you know what? When it burns, you scorch yourself. You burn yourself, you hurt yourself. It's painful, so it's not good to anybody. So you say, okay, I don't scold him anymore. I will not say negative to him anymore. I'm not going to say anything until I become perfectly calm and balanced. I will ignore him. Then what happened? Worse. Okay? Because you actually, every time you look at him, you do this. Every time you look at him, you have not resolved all your actually grudges inside you. You're actually throwing poison at him with your telepathic power, which is 10 times worse, because you're actually cursing that person. Not change, not change. Unfortunately, I cannot scold you. You better change, otherwise, no, it's not good. Okay? So it's important is communicate, not to curse silently. Okay, not to bear grudges silently. Give them the cold shoulder, cold treatment. Nothing can be worse than cold shoulders. Don't you feel that you'd rather be scolded than to be treated like with cold shoulders? Okay. So it's like a husband was very used to scoldings and complaints by the wife, okay? Because the wife will always scold him. Okay, why are you always late? Why don't you come back? Okay, I need to buy this. Your children are not behaving well. She would talk to him like that. So when he attended the these great classes, he decided that she must change. Okay, instead of cold shoulders or scolding, she must change to be a very loving wife. So she vowed to herself, she started to change. So the first thing she changed was she called her husband. She pressed the number and she called her husband and said, "Hello, dear." And the husband listened. "You got the wrong number." Hanged up. Why? Because the husband could not believe that was his wife. Because his wife would call him, "Oi!" But this time it's, "Hello, my dear, how are you?" You got the wrong number. Then, after a while, that he called back, because the number shows it's his wife. So he called back, and said, "Hello, is that you? Is that really you?" Oh, see, because you have, let's say you have been slapping somebody for 15 years, and then suddenly you say, "I love you." It will take some time for that person to believe you, okay? So, yeah, it takes some time, but it's communication, but we have to start with ourselves, because it's no good to poison our mind, our heart, which will eventually affect our body, and also have the same effect on the other person. Now, we often say, but I keep a healthy lifestyle. I exercise, okay? I don't go out and simply drink. Okay, look at my muscles and everything. I seem fine. But how come I got cancer? Okay. A lot of times because of the mental attitude that can affect our body. Honestly, can anybody here guarantee that you will not get cancer in this lifetime? Nobody dare to say that, right? So why let this negative thinking, affect us? No, don't. Always think positively. And when you say positive things, your children will learn to say positive things. Otherwise, they will imitate you. Okay? Just like one of the students, when he went home, he was very mad at his sister for playing with his stationery. So he said, "You better not play with my stationery, okay? Or else you should bury your head beside the Klang River." So his mother heard that. She asked him, "Who taught you to say like that?" He said, "My teacher. My teacher always said, you guys are so stupid. You should just bury your head, beside the Klang River." 你真蠢啊，把你的头埋在那个河边好了。So that was come from, an adult. So that adult could also be you. But this example was given to me by a mother because that was her child. So he went to the school and she said, teacher shouldn't be talking like that to my child. And, but it wasn't agreed by the school. So she transferred her child to another school, which was much better. Okay, because they teach 弟子规 there. And as a 弟子规, you teachers must speak properly, to guide the students. Okay? So likewise, before you know it, the children are absorbing the way you talk. Okay? So like I remember my brother. Some people look absolutely harmless until they drive behind a wheel. Okay? Suddenly they change. Anybody will cut him off, he will go, potato, sweet potato, everything will come out, okay? And then this father will always say, this is idiot, especially women driver, okay? Really make him mad. Women driver. Then one day he found that his son was doing the same thing. 哎呀，阿爸，嗰個番薯乜嘢啊？做咩要留番薯？The mother said，你啦，成日留番薯咯。佢就學到你就講留番薯咯。cannot always potato, sweet potato, this okay. So then only he alert. When he said, then he stopped because he knew that he has a direct impact on the child. It's what we adults project to them. Actually, they pick up sooner and faster than you think, because they are like a piece of sponge. They're just like a giant vacuum cleaner that can suck up everything that they absorb, they hear and they see. So it is very important. If you project positiveness to them, they will project positiveness to other people. They will also help other people because you always help them. Okay? But if you always reject them, they also learn to reject people. Okay? They will not learn to be helpful. So be very careful with what we say to the children. So from this experiment, and we know that all these negative things will actually affect our mind and thought because there's so much water in our body, and they actually have very sensitive feelings. Right? So take care of our words and our thought. Right? But then you say we are too busy. Aren't we busy? We're very busy, isn't it? Okay, we'll look at verses 153 to 154 in your book, your textbook, 153 and 154. Now Chinese is called 事物忙，忙多错. That means avoid doing things in a hurry, since acting in haste will lead to many mistakes. But nowadays, every one of us is very busy, isn't it? If I ask you a question, are you busy? Are you busy? Yeah, are you busy? 你忙不忙？不是很忙啊，那太好了你。你忙吗？你忙哈？你忙吗？不忙啊？你忙不忙？很忙。你呢？太忙了。你忙不忙？我唔得閒係嘛？你哋得閒嘛？係咪得閒到冇嘢做，坐屋企等？唔係係嘛 ？Everybody seems to be busy, okay? Busy at something. But if my next question is, what are you busy about? Now, those who say they are not busy, maybe you're doing things that you don't even know happening. That's what you call not busy. But you are doing something. I'm sure you didn't just lie on the bed and look at the ceiling and count ceiling tiles. You are living your life unconsciously. You know, from day to night, consciously, you know, just happen, and before you know it, time passes very quickly. Now, so we say mang. Chinese words mang as a heart, okay, plus a wang, okay. So it's a heart plus a death or died. So you put together is mang, busy. So busy, to the Chinese, the ancient Chinese who created the words, shows that when the heart died, you know, when you're too busy, your heart will die. 叫做忙，叫做太忙了，忙到心都不知道放在哪里。You don't even know where your heart is. 它的亡，心亡了。Okay, the death of the heart is busy. Right? Because you're too busy. Why is our mind or our heart to die when we're too busy? Now, every day you walk out from your house, right? Do you observe things that happen around you? Can you count the number of trees that you pass? Do you know how many blocks of houses? Who live next door? What happened to them? No, we don't. We are too busy. And it seems like here, you know, it's like we walk along the corridor every day, but I noticed that all the dead plants, dead leaves, nobody picked the dead leaves out. As if we are oblivious. We didn't see them. We are comfortable with dead plants, comfortable with dead leaves. Nobody paid any attention, right? Because we're so numb to it. Right? In fact, we're so comfortable to the mess, okay, that if we don't have the mess, we don't feel comfortable. You can ask your child. A child will tell you that, hey, it may be messy, but I know where my things are. So don't touch my mess. 冇到我啲嘢啊，雖然我亂啊，但我知道我啲嘢喺邊度啊 ，OK? Don't touch them. I'm comfortable, okay? So the oblivious, they can't see. They can't see clearly, okay? Now, can you tell the color of the shirt that your husband wear this morning? Lily. Outstation. Oh, okay. What else can we ask? You work, right? You know, oh, how fortunate. Very fortunate. One of the few fortunate women who don't have to work. Okay, anybody else? Or can you tell what your child looked like this morning? His expression. Still sleepy. Still sleepy. Okay, so still sleepy. At least you remember, still sleepy. So there's nothing much to what? Nothing much to tell, okay? But just think, small little things around us, we don't seem to pick them up, you know, by our heart because we are too busy. Okay? And when we're too busy, we are starting to get blinded. So 忙会到忙 Mang is blind. Okay. Same word, Wang, okay, deaf. This is the eye. That means you cannot see anymore. You're too busy. Okay, busy start to lead to blindness. You can't see clearly. And when you can't see clearly, you start to kind of trying to group your way through darkness. You're not sure the direction, where to go. And it becomes Mang. That means you're lost. See, another Mang in there. Okay, because you are lost in what? In the vast ocean. You're lost in the forest. Woods, water, death. You're lost in the forest. You're lost in the ocean. You don't know where you're going. And all three words have the same pronunciation. Mang. So, 从很忙到盲目的忙，到茫茫然的茫，到大海茫茫的茫。Okay? So that's why this way, one of the things that it says in this chapter is, hey, yes, we have to do our work, but, relax. Pay some attention to the things that are happening around us. Listen to people. You remember how we write listen? Listen is written with a year. Okay? A year. That are connected to the eyes, directly to the heart. Okay, so the ear, the eye, and the heart. Okay, so as you listen, you look at that person attentively as you listen, and you not only listen with just your eyes, you listen with your heart. So listen, okay,听is actually listen with your heart. That's called empathy. 同理心. You empathize with people. You can feel how people feel. You can sit down and really listen to their problems and may be able to help them because you really listen and try to understand their problems. Okay? So I'm going to show you another 2 videos again. Now, watch this man. Okay, watch this man. He was a very busy manager. He didn't have time for his employer. He wanted to go and have a baseball game, watch a baseball game with his son. But his son was too busy to go with his dad, so he had to go with his friend. Now, let's watch what happened. Okay? Empathy 1.
There once was a boss named Ray, who had lots of things to say. But when listening was needed, poor Ray never heeded. And since no one could reach him, something else had to teach him, till Ray learned to hear the best way.
I know exactly what you're going through. I went through the same thing on the McMurdy project. You just gotta dig your heels in. No, I gotta run. Hi, honey. How was school? Really? Again? Well, if people are calling you names, it just shows how insecure they are. Sticks and stones, sweetie, sticks and stones. We'll talk tonight. Bye. Diane, yeah, I got your email. I totally agree. We got to present Shumway with a plan on how to stop the bleeding, how to get sales back up to where they were last quarter. Well, who knows? I'm sure we'll come up with something. Yep, bye. Bobby, my man, you got your game face on? I got 2 quart sides right here in my sweaty little fingers. What? Why not? Well, now I gotta find somebody else to go with me. No, don't worry about it. I'll catch you on the next one. Yeah, bye. Dang.
This is a message from Leo. Ray, we have to talk. I need your help before you leave today. This is a message from Leo. Ray, we have to
Hi,
talk.
Leo.
I need your help before you leave today.
Bye,
This
Leo.
Is a message from...
I'll see you tomorrow, Doris.
Oh, jeez,
Oh,
Doris.
sorry, Ray.
You
I
gotta
was just
watch
headed
where
down
you...
to the-
Hey, no biggie. Here, we'll settle out of court.
Hey.
Yo, Ray, we got mega problems with the phone system upgrade. I've been trying to reach you all afternoon.
Sounds to me like you need to take that bull by the horns, Leo. Have you talked to Lorraine about this?
Whoa! That's what I'm trying to tell you. Lorraine's got the subs doing the hard installs during office hours. It's a mess.
It's a mega mess, and mega messes need mega solutions. That's why I'm glad my man Leo's on the job.
I tried to tell Lorraine my plan so we could get this done without bogging down the system. Nobody's listening.
Didn't we have this problem 2 years ago?
Maybe.
And how did we solve it then? Let's not reinvent the wheel here. Have you talked to Lorraine about this? Ah, Lorraine. Lorraine, Leo. Leo, Lorraine. You two work this out. I know you can do it. Be the solution.
Ray, we have to talk. I need your help before you leave today. This is a message from Leo. Ray, we have to talk. I need your help before you leave today. This is a message from Leo. Ray, we have to talk. I need your help before you leave today. This is a message from Leo. Ray, we have to talk. I need your help before you leave today. This is a...
You need a vacation, Ray. Oh, jeez, Doris, not again.
Oh, sorry, Ray. I
No
was just
biggie.
headed-
Here.
Yo, Ray, we got mega problems with the phone system upgrade.
Didn't we just solve this problem?
Well, I've been trying to reach you all afternoon. Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Lorraine's got the subs doing all...
What's going on, Leo?
I tried to tell Lorraine my plan so we could pull this off without bogging down the system. Customers are getting busy signals and we're losing sales. You know, I happen to know this would never happen over at SkyTech System, where they actually listen to their employees.
Lorraine, Leo, you two work this out.
Before we see the second part, let's start the first part first, okay? Just not make a mistake. Now, the first person who called him was his wife. You notice he put an hourglass on the table, and how did he look? 很不耐煩，好煩啊，係嘛？His wife was telling him, what a rotten day. People have been calling her names and so on. So she was like doing this. Oh, when is she going to stop? So he was giving her solution, just like, well, another nagging wife talking to husband. So I'll see you later. So he clicked on the phone. And then he called his friend Bob. And then Bob is what? Couldn't go to the ball game with him, so he had to find somebody else. Right? And Leo, his staff, were trying to look for him to help him to solve a problem about fixing the communication line, because they are a telemarketing company. So the phone line system is very important to them. So Leo was trying to find a solution, but nobody listened to him. Okay? So now, isn't that typical of our solution as well? Your two kids are fighting, right? So what do you do? Like, Leo, Lauren, come. Say sorry to each other. Okay? Just like you say, hey, you go and do something. Be the solution. Okay, you are the solution, be the solution. Okay, I'm off. Okay? Then the mother in our times, well, I'm sure maybe you still do that. This favorite words of her is, 你如果不这样，等一下你就知道。你仲咁樣等下你就知道。等緊知道咩呢？各位 ？Don't know what 你知道咩啦？But you say 等緊你又知嚇。But afterward you know. Know what? Nobody knows. Because you forget. Then it's hard to get away. Okay? So it's like that. You go and solve the problem yourself. Okay? So everything was in a mess, and he thought, this is all in a mess, but they should be able to find a solution, and I have been doing my job. Okay? But what he found out was she couldn't get out. He couldn't get out of his office, just like us. We think we have solved the problem, but the problems keep coming back over and over. We can't get out. So let us see what happened next after he can't get out, and how did he get out afterwards. Okay?
Come on, Ray. Think, Ray. Be the solution. Be the solution. Be the solution. The solution.
Nobody's listening.
Leo.
Ray, we have to talk. I need your help before you leave today. This is a message from Leo. Ray, we have to talk. I need your help before you leave today. This is a message from Leo.
Hey, Leo.
Ray, I was just trying to find you.
Yeah, I got your message. Do you mind if I sit down? Tell me what's going on.
Well, it's like this. Lorraine has got the subs doing all of the phone system upgrades during office hours. You know, we talked about it, and I told her I'd come up with a much better way to do it.
You seem pretty concerned.
I am concerned. You know, the whole phone system is overloaded. Customers are getting a busy signal. That's not good.
So, you're saying it's affecting our customers, and we're losing business because of it?
Exactly. We are losing business.
Whoa, that's big.
Frankly, I've about had it. You know? I feel like I'm spinning the proverbial wheel here. Like, I'm seriously considering the big skedaddle. Vamos. The whole greener pastures thing.
So you're upset people aren't utilizing your hard work, and you think this phone thing might be the last straw. Wow.
I want this to work out. I do. I know that Lorraine has spent months trying to schedule this phone system upgrade, but I spent 2 full days coming up with a really cool flow chart. It'll get her phone system upgrade done on schedule, but in off hours.
It sounds like you put a lot of time and effort into this, and you're frustrated Lorraine isn't utilizing it.
Totally. You know, I sent her a file a week ago, and she's totally ignored it. Unless she hasn't even opened it. What you'd think? Huh. Oh. What should we do now?
Do you mind if I take a look at your flow chart?
No, not at all.
Wow, you have put a lot of work into this. Not that I'm surprised. Show me how it works.
Okay. Everybody's lined up over here.
As I see it, you feel like you and Lorraine can work this out so she meets her deadline and we still keep the phone systems open, which means we make more sales, which means we make more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is something we can do to bring sales up to where they were last quarter. Leo, thanks for staying on top of this. Do you want me to talk to Lorraine for you?
No. I'll run down and I'll chat with her. See if she even got what I sent her.
Is there anything else I can do to help?
Nothing I can think of. Is there anything you need?
Actually, you know your little talking message head?
Yeah, the Leo head. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? What about it?
Oh, nothing.
So he finally got out. Okay, so now in human relationship, what we call long is short, short is long. What short is long means that we may think it is efficiency, Efficiency means accomplishing a task in the shortest possible time, the shortest time possible. That's efficiency. But it may not be effective. So the first half, he was trying to be an efficient manager. So his favorite was be the solution. Okay, so your kids come and have a problem, you say, you're going to solve it yourself. Be the solution. But they have problems. You don't listen to the problems. Be the solution. Why don't you listen to me? All this. They are all your thinking, not theirs. Right? So the second part, he realized that the more he wanted to solve things quickly, the less he accomplished. He was actually revolving in the door, revolving round and round and round. He couldn't get out. So he kept on going back, coming back to his own office. So he looked at the hourglass. It seems that it hasn't moved, still ticking at the same time. He went out, everything was the same. Okay, all the measures were still the same. Now, does it feel familiar? It's the same, nothing changed. My son never changed himself. My husband never changed himself. Nobody changed. I also don't change. So it's just like that. Keep on revolving over and over again. In fact, if you, just like him, would just stand out a little bit, you will feel what they call a deja vu. You know deja vu? Something has happened before. Okay? Think about the things that you scolded your children about. Do they sound familiar, or every time it's a new case? Is every time a new case? They're actually old cases, right? They keep on repeating and repeating, just like the scenery. They keep on repeating. So, what happened? What triggered him? Then he suddenly heard Leo's message that Leo had. Did he like that Leo had, or he hated it? He hated it, right? But when Leo asked, well, don't you think it's great? And he actually wanted to ask him to erase it, but he took it back. Because he saw Leo was so excited about the Leo hat, so he said, it's okay. But if it was us, what would we say? Yeah, I hated it. Can you take it out? But, for the manager, he said, Ray, he said, no, it's okay. It's not important. So he walked away. Right? Now, so he knew that there is something that Leo was very concerned about, and that he must solve that. Otherwise, he cannot get out of the office. So he went and actually sat down and listened to Leo. What is his solution? Okay. So can you sit down with your son or your daughter and listen to them? And really listen to them and hear what they have to say. Maybe that's a first start. Okay, really sit down and listen to what they have to say. And they don't have to be your children, they can be your friend. Right? They can also be your friend, be your colleague, be your subordinate, or be your boss. It could be anybody, right, that you can actually just sit down and listen to. Okay? Yes, this question.
I find that parents often attempt to sit down with their children to talk, but what happens is they don't really listen. In the end, it would be the same thing, and they will be the one talking, and the problem doesn't get solved. So what do you recommend in a scenario like this?
There's a child complaining. Huh? Well, exactly, there's Leo. Leo gets frustrated. Leo gets frustrated, just like, children, they get frustrated. Yeah, I talk, but did you hear what Leo said? Nobody is listening. Nobody is listening. I tried to talk to Lorraine is not listening. I don't know anybody, nobody's listening. Okay? So what happened after Ray sat down and listened? Actually, Ray, at first, he didn't want to listen. He actually looked at the clock. He was a compulsive kind of look, what do you call a compulsive watch looker. He will always look at his time. He talk to you, look at his time. He talk to the employee, look at the time, don't look at the clock. Why? His time was very precious to him. My time, not your time, my time. Okay, so he look at the hourglass, he look at the clock, he look at his watch. Now, when you talk to someone and that person kept on looking at his watch, what is that signal to you? Please, can you wrap up your words in 2 seconds? That's what he's trying to tell you. Okay? Keep on. Hey. He didn't have to say anything, just looking at the watch. So same thing. Okay? When your children are talking to you, do you finally actually sit down and listen? Just like Ray. Ray at first looking at the clock, and suddenly, so you think we are losing business? Yes. So that's got him keep on going, and finally Ray understands the seriousness of, his complaint, his frustrations. Now the other day, a son was subtly arguing with the mother because he wanted to be a scientist, but she wanted him to learn literature. What a difference, isn't it? Right? And she said, I don't know how to convince him. He learned 弟子规 for so long, but still he's not filial. Not a filial son, don't listen to me. Actually, I hope that he will study literature so next time he can promote, Chinese traditional culture, which is legitimate, okay? Then the son said, but mom, I want to be a scientist. Then the mom said, what, engineer? You can't be an engineer because engineers sometimes need to work, with their hands. But look at his hands. His hands are so soft. So I said, okay, I'll look at his hands. Can you show me your hands? So he showed me his hands. Long and very smooth, like a lady's hands, okay? So I said, well, that's true. You can't take up like very hard, hard labor. Oh, really? Then she started looking at this. And then I said, you really want to be a scientist? Why do you want to be a scientist? Well, I want to be a scientist to prove the theory of Buddhism is right. Which is actually in congruence with my mother, because my mother also wants to, people to believe in Chinese traditional culture. And Chinese traditional culture has Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism elements. So with science, I can prove to people that Buddhism is a very wise teaching, that Buddha actually have seen a lot of things which the scientists are only starting to know today. Isn't that also legitimate? That's always good, isn't it? So the mother looked at me. He never talked to me like that. How could he talk like that when every time he said, mother, I want to be a scientist? No, you cannot. You should study literature so the next time you can be like Confucius and you can like teach a song and give lecture in Chinese traditional culture, And he just stopped like, but I want to be a scientist. And he didn't tell her why he wanted to be a scientist, okay? So once I get hold of that point, I go from there. I said, so you think science can prove the validity of Buddhism? He said, yeah, look at the quantum physics. They talk about consciousness. Eventually, consciousness can be proved, and so on. I said, okay, do you know that those scientists may not be considered scientists by the science community? I said, since you love to go to Google, so go some Google search on this one. Okay, what it means by a science, but how could you prove something that you cannot physically, see or touch? Or eventually that the telescope is not powerful enough to see the things that you cannot see, but it has been stated in the sutra that it can be seen. Okay? So then he said, oh, really? Then he started to talk about this area. Okay? So we must kind of first listen to them. What is in their mind? Then if you feel that they are not correct, lead them to find answers. Lead them to find answers. It's not as simple. Because this is just my way of looking at things, okay? Whether people believe in a religion or not has a lot to do with how he sees the practitioner of that religion. Meaning that if he sees good Buddhists, a lot of good Buddhists, that will convince him to maybe, take an interest in Buddhism. But if he see a lot of not so cool Buddhists, he will not believe in Buddhism no matter how much you prove the validity of Buddhism. What you have done is actually prove Buddha was right. That's all. Okay? But you haven't convinced people that they should take up Buddhism, which is what you set out to do. I said, isn't it? He said, yeah. So if you want really people to believe and follow Buddhism, you should be a good Buddhist. But now you're not because you keep on arguing with your mother. And Buddha never argued with his mother. Well, his mother passed away very fast, soon. He never argued with his parents. Okay? Even his father, who wanted him to be a prince, to be the next king, he never said, no, father, don't force me to do that, whatever. So later on, he actually went back and told his father about enlightenment, and he enlightened his dad, okay, as a result. Okay? So he was doing everything that he preached. He always said, don't follow my words just because I said it. Experience, find out the truth for yourself, not just because I said it. Okay? You have to testify to the truth to yourself. Okay? So he was. That's how you convince people, to believe what you believe in. Science can only give some evidence. But if they see all these scientists are not doing or not practicing, Buddhism, you still cannot convince them to follow Buddhism. I said, isn't it? So he started to think. Right? So in the end, we had a 3 hours talk in the restaurant. Until the waitress came and said, excuse me, we have to close at 3 in the afternoon. So when we went out, you would think the kids are starting to you're on my mom's side. Of course you will tell, you will agree with my mom and so on. But no, then when we walked out, her mother said, you see, I wasn't listening to my son. And I looked at the son, and the son was like, yeah, he looked okay. He wasn't like, I hate my mom's friends. They all say the same thing like my mom. No, okay. So it's not like you have to take side or whatever, but be rational. How to be rational? You have to sit down and listen. Not what you want. What they want may be wrong, but at least you must know what they want. You must at least understand what they want. Okay? So you cannot prove them wrong until you have the evidence, isn't it? You don't even have the evidence. All the so-called evidence are made up in your own mind. Then 你会什么？会判错人的哈。Now put yourself as a lawyer or as a judge. You'll be a very questionable judge. A judge must listen to all sides, okay, before you pass on a judgment. Okay? So same thing with your children. Be a judge who is fair, open-minded, and knowledgeable, wise enough to give them guidance. Okay, and not just imposing on your own ideas on them. Okay, so in the end, you see, Leo did everything that Ray wanted him to do. For instance, talk to Lorraine. Ray said, well, do you want me to talk to Lorraine? What did Leo said? No, it's okay, I can talk to him. But in the first part, Leo was reluctant to talk to Lorraine because he felt Lorraine wouldn't listen to him. But because Ray, encouraged Leo and praised Leo for having done a good job, that gave Leo some confidence that he would actually go and talk to Lorraine by himself. He didn't need help. So the same thing. Maybe your words of encouragement will compel your children to face challenges. You're going to encourage them. Okay, with that encouragement. So he did that. And he didn't have to be knocked down by the ladders. He didn't have to be knocked down by those electricians. Okay. All this will not happen because he spent some time to face the solution. Right? So the next one is do not afraid of a task that is difficult. Okay? So raising children is not easy. It is a difficult task, but do not be afraid it is a difficult task. Or become careless when a job is easy. Okay? It's never easy, and even a job is easy Be never careless about it. 勿畏难，勿侵略. Okay, so it's not easy to raise a child, but it's not that difficult either if you can keep your open mind. So as a reflection, put it to the PowerPoint. As a reflection, take some time to think about a recent experience of your own that was negative, or one in which you responded in a negative way. Think about this. Okay, just a recent happening. Okay, you have responded in a very negative way. That means you scolded the person, you complained, and you express your dissatisfaction. Right? How could you have changed your way of thinking to make it positive? How could you have changed it? Okay. Now, let's ask the gentleman over there. Like, obviously, you are facing this challenge. Your parents won't listen to you, okay? Can you think of a time when your parents didn't respond to you in an understanding way? How did you handle it? You stopped?
I stopped trying to explain.
You stopped trying to explain. So the 3 bowl of rice, you chose that the bowl of rice that you ignore. But did you feel good? No, isn't it? Yeah. You won't feel good. Okay. So don't stop trying. But you got to turn a little bit, okay? Now, had the son of my friend said, Mom, I wanted to be a scientist because, I want to prove to people that you are right. Now, wouldn't it be very positive? If my friend's son have said that, I'm sure my friend would say, oh, you're such a wonderful son. How are you going to do that? I'm going to do that through science. Oh, really? How can you do that? How can you prove that I'm right through science? Then you start to talk about your theory and so on and so on. Before you know it, your mother say, yeah, you may be right. So go ahead, be a scientist. But if you say in such a way that you are trying to prove her wrong, of course she will defend herself. Because you are actually saying that she's wrong. But you said, actually, I want to prove you're right. Okay, so can we say things like that? Change it around. Okay? Instead of hitting the wall. Okay? Now, where does obstacle comes from? Obstacles always come from ourselves. They are never from the outside. Now, what did I say that? Now, if I continue to walk towards the wall, that's an obstacle, right? Now, watch, okay? That's an obstacle, huh? I'm going to walk. I'll hit the wall, right? So what should I do? I'm going to hit the wall. What should I do? I turn, right? But I say, oh yeah, this is an obstruction, I cannot get out. No, you turn. You turn the direction, okay, because you want to go outside, right? Okay? Do you have to definitely go outside through the wall? You don't need to, right? Moreover, you don't have the ability. Some very, what we call the extraordinary people, they have the ability. They can go through a wall, but I cannot. So what do? I turned. Then I hit another obstacle. What do? But this is the shortest way, I can, like the martial art, I can go. No, I can't do that. So what? I turn, I take this path, and then I what? I go outside, and there's a door, open the door, I go out. But it took me longer, right? It took me longer time. It seems longer, okay? Now, I don't like this approach. It takes me too long. Bad obstacles, terrible obstacle, foolish obstacle. I could be spending days and nights and months here. I still won't be able to go through. But it seems to me I'm satisfied because bad obstacle, terrible. But it's not helping me. What you do, I turn. Seems longer, seems farther, but I will get to where I want to go. Okay. So obstacles always come from the outside, not the inside. You have the power to change. you have the power to go around the obstacles. There are no obstacles until you provide them with a target, isn't it? So if there's no target, how can anybody block you? How can they block you? You have nothing. Okay? The minute you say, I'm bad, I'll ask you, so how bad do you think I am? Like, well, you are bad because this is it. Oh, really? Okay. Is it affecting you, affecting everybody? Yeah, okay, I'll change. There's no established, teacher song, that cannot forever change. So there will be no obstacles. So obstacles always come from within, not from without. Okay, always remember that, okay? Now, so let's hear from a parent, okay? I appreciate, by the way, let's give him a round of applause because it takes a lot of guts, okay? It takes a lot of guts from children. Why? Because I said that because actually, I think Chinese children, because of their education background and so on, they tend to be a little bit more subservient. They are not as what we call, not expressive, but more, they don't express their true thought. They are more kind of reserved, okay? Because we teach English, 弟子规 to English educated children, they're very different. It's like, hello, can you let me finish my question first? Then only you raise your hand. Okay. So yeah, it takes a lot of guts, for you to speak your mind, and we really appreciate it. Okay. So now I'd like to hear an adult parent. What was the originally happened that was negative, and in which you responded in a negative way? How could you have done it somewhat differently? Change your thinking to make it positive. Lily?
I think recently is there's this thing going around with me, my elder son. I wanted to change his school, and he's very resistant about it. But I understand where he's coming from, because he has friends. He already established, in a way, his so-called image there and good relationship with the teachers. So he's very, very reluctant to change. But as a mother, I was thinking on his academic side, which I find that this school is not suitable for him. And I found a better school. So I have been trying to talk to him, to reason with him, on even giving him my reason why I wanted him to move. But he's still quite adamant of not looking at my way. Even I told him that if there's a choice given, I wouldn't want him to change. If there's any possibility, I don't want to change him. But looking at the best for your future as a mother, I have to change your school. So currently he's still resisting. So I'm still thinking and thinking of how to make him think, like, your mother is doing this is because of this. I know where he's coming from, but it's just that I cannot get him to think, to look at a different way.
Now I hear two keywords here. He misses his friends and teachers, right? So these are two important points, okay? Whereas mother equal to my marks. Mother equal marks. Me, I am flesh and blood. I'm not an examination machine. I want to be with my friends. I want to be with my teachers. So psychologically, mother, you will lose. Okay? But in the end, you will win, because you have the power to transfer his school.
But I don't want him to like.
But I would, if I were you, I would talk to him about his friends and about his teachers. The friends that he's going to miss, talk about them. Talk about the friends that he will miss, and just talk. No judgment, nothing, but just talk. Oh, who are those friends, and how long have you been with them, and so on. And what do you find those teachers? You like them so much? Are they helping you a lot, and so on and so forth? You just listen, no judgment whatsoever. Now, through talking, you might find something that is more beneficial to him than just what you think is a better school. You never know. What is better for you is just in terms of academic performance, but what is more important to him is that relationship that he built. So if you cannot convince him that his teachers and his friends are not good, more or better than marks, he's just going there because you force him to. And it will take him some time to adjust, okay? But you can just talk to him about his friends, which I'm sure is something we seldom talk to kids about, okay? But talk to them about their friends and about their teachers, okay? If he is among teachers who are very dedicated, but overall the school performance is also good, maybe there is something about their school that is worth staying back. But if it's just his emotion, but it's not related to some rational, decision on his part, maybe you can convince him. Guide him to see the light, that how the other school will also have friends and also have teachers, just as good, if not better, and how he can maintain contact with his old friends and his old teachers instead of stopping them. There are ways you can keep in touch with your friends. There are ways you can keep in touch with teachers. Okay, and I'm sure the relationship can go on. But see it from his side first. Don't see it from your side, because at his age, his friends are more important. His marks are not so important. Okay, so you must understand from that perspective. Okay, always see from the other person, because we all love our children, right? But somehow the decision we make for them make them feel that we don't love them, because you remember the word love. The love has a heart inside. You listen with your heart, to accept him and to receive love in return. But you must accept, you must understand his feelings. Right? So it's, don't prejudge anything first. Nothing is worse than, wanting the consequence to be set up first. It's like, I remember I used to cycle myself, and to say, okay, I'm going to talk to this person. I'm going to talk like this, talk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm sure I will convince him. And if it doesn't convince me, let's call it off. No. We don't set a script like that. It's an open-ended script. You write a script, but you let the end open. You will see wonderful things happen. Because in the end, you may find that he agrees with you. It's hard to say. Okay, it's hard to say. He will agree with you. It's just like there was another great clip about through talking, actually the son didn't want to, because the son wanted to stop schooling. But after talking to him, they found out that it wasn't that he wanted to go out to find a job, but because he didn't like the teachers. He didn't like the friends that he had in that school, not because he wanted to stop schooling. So then the consequences changed, drastically after they helped him to cope with those problems. So he didn't quit school, he continued to go to school. So the same thing with this, find out from your kid first. What is he saying? Don't put a set of a gate, and you'll be surprised. And I think your son is okay. If they are stubborn, maybe they are just a reflection of us. Children are our cookie molds, okay? We are cookie molds. We make them, in our shadow, in our reflection. So maybe it takes some of your gutsy, characteristics. So you have to kind of put that aside, and maybe he will put that aside too. So we look forward to your next episode, okay? Okay, great. We'll stop our class here. We'll continue to hear your stories and your journal. Remember your journal. Your journal is very interesting. And we'll continue to read them and see your progress. Okay, thank you very much, and good night. I'll see you next week.